Hello students, again this is in continuation with the next second video. We have stopped at these important classification, that is we are in third characteristic property, that is formation of complex compounds. As we have discussed already, metal plus ligand gives metal ligand complex. Then what type of metals form coordination bond with the ligands, and what are the classifications behind that is mentioned here. Those are there is some HSAB principle, that is hard and soft acid base. Hard H, soft S, A acid, B base. Hard and soft acid base principle is there. In that there are class A acceptors. Hard acids, class A acceptors are also called as hard acids. Here acids means which are lack of electrons. That is they accept electrons. Acids here accept electrons. Again in acids there are two types. One is hard acids and another one is soft acids. What are those we will see in the next slide and in the present slide. And there are another classification is the soft and hard bases. Base is another classification, and in that there is a hard base and a soft base. Those are class A acceptors are hard acids. In this, those metal ions comes under, we'll see metal ions from group 1 and 2 elements. From group 1, that is alkali and alkaline earth metals, first half of transition elements, the lanthanides, the actinides and p block elements, except for their heavier members, that is heavier p block elements are not comes under hard acids or class A acceptors. Alkali and alkaline earth metals, again I am repeating, first half of transition elements, the lanthanides, actinides and p block elements, lighter p block elements comes under class A acceptors and hard acids. These are very high these contain very high positive charge, means more electropositive in nature, that is they easily lose their electrons and the smaller in size, and absence of any outer electron which are easily excited to higher states. These combine with these class A acceptors or hard acids combine with hard bases or class B donors. Hard bases are class B donors. That is the principle says hard acids binds with hard base, soft acid binds with soft base. Again I am repeating, hard acids bind with hard base and soft acids binds with soft base. Okay, here these hard acids binds with the hard bases, like the donor atoms contain nitrogen, oxygen or fluorine. That is nitrogen means ammonia, oxygen containing donor atom is water, like that. Class B acceptors are soft acids. Class B acceptors are soft acids means metals like rhodium, iridium, palladium, platinum, silver, gold and mercury are called as soft acids. These form most stable complexes with the heavier elements like group 15, 16 and 17, means these are p block elements. These are soft bases, that is phosphorus, sulfur, chlorine, like that, etc. Metals are characterized in which the acceptor atom is of lower or zero positive charge. So here these are not much electropositive in nature, but large size, heavier atoms are here. And there are in between these, some compounds are in between hard acids and soft acids. Those we can call it as class A or B acceptors. The borderline metals are called as class A or B acceptors. That is the rest of transition metals. That is the they are not classified into either A or B. Those rest of transition metals and the heavier metals in the p block are called as class A and B. These are capable to form complexes with both types of donors, either soft bases or hard bases. This is the new concept to you. So listen 1 or 2 times by pausing the video and write down and listen again and again. Magnetic properties of now we are moving to next important properties of magnetic properties of metal complexes. That means this is one of the d block elements exhibit magnetic property. Magnetism depends on the arrangement of atoms or molecules or ions present in the substance and number of unpaired electrons. This is the very important. All these characteristic properties of d block are mainly due to variable oxidation states. Because of variable oxidation state, it exhibits colors and magnetism and catalytic property, and these have unpaired electrons present in the substance. Mainly we all know that mainly there are 3 types of magnetic substances. One is diamagnetic substance, another paramagnetic substance, and ferromagnetic substances. Diamagnetic substances means when these substances are placed in a magnetic field, they repelled by the magnetic field. They align in the direction in the opposite to the applied magnetic field. Those are called diamagnetic substances. Paramagnetic substances means when the external magnetic field are applied, these substances align in the direction of the magnetic field, but they are attracted weakly. These are also magnetic substances, but compared to ferromagnetic substances, these are these exhibit less magnetism. Ferromagnetic substances means when they align in the magnetic field, they attract magnetic field very strongly. They align in the direction of magnetic field and they exhibit a very strong magnetic field. These are called ferromagnetic substances. Example, iron, cobalt, nickel, such type of metal ions exhibit ferromagnetism. Now we will see again we will see each one in detail. Paramagnetic property. Paramagnetic substances are those which have unpaired electrons. Yes, this is the very important. If any metal or complex compound has unpaired electrons, means these are paramagnetic. These behave like a paramagnetic substances. Because of unpaired electrons, they contain unpaired electrons, they can generate spin angular momentum easily, so they exhibit a paramagnetic nature. These substances are attracted by the external magnetic field. Another one is, now we will see how these elements exhibit magnetism. Every unpaired electron have spin motion and orbital motion. Any unpaired electron have electron spins in 2 directions. So electron spin is of 2 types. Listen carefully. Electron spin is of 2 types. One is spin motion and another one is orbital motion. Like our Earth has also spin motion and orbital motion. Spin motion means spinning around itself. Orbital motion means along the spinning around itself, and it rotates around the nucleus. That is called orbital motion, and spinning around itself is called spin motion. Due to spin motion of electron, it produces spin angular momentum. Due to orbital, here I forgot to write spin angular momentum. You write in your books spin angular momentum. Due to orbital motion, it produces orbital angular momentum. Spin angular momentum we denote with mu s. Orbital angular momentum we denote it with mu l. So mu effective means a combination of these spin angular momentum and orbital angular momentum. So there is a formula that mu effective means square root of L into L plus 1 plus 4s into s plus 1. Here L is orbital momentum and s is spin momentum. It is applicable to d block elements, but in first series some complexes involve spin only magnet. This is observed experimentally, that they have calculated all the experimental values of 3D series and theoretical values. The formula will be given in next slide. Theoretical values and experimental values coincides with the mu s values. So in 3D series, except chromium, according to experimental results, except chromium, remaining all the elements exhibit mu effective is equal to mu s. That is only spin angular momentum we can calculate. Spin angular momentum is contributing to the mu f. Mu L is almost 0 in the remaining elements of 3D series. This is the formula. If you consider mu s is equal to square root of 4s into s plus 1. S is spin of electron, spin momentum of electron. Here spin of electron is n by 2. N means number of electrons. Here we consider number of electrons as n. So we substitute spin is n by 2. Then we will get square root of n into n plus 2. That is the in general formula for the calculation of magnetic momentum for any substance. In general, if in your competitive exams or in your theoretical university exams, if they ask to calculate magnetic moment, you have to apply this formula. Mu s is equal to square root of n into n plus 2. Here you assume ul is equal to 0. For f block ions, as usual, not only for f block ions, remaining all the series, that means 4D, 5D, 6D series, there is contribution of mu L also. So mu effective is equal to G into gyroscopic constant, square root of G. G is gyroscopic ratio. Here G is equal to G into square root of J into J plus 1. J is a coupling constant. Here again we are saying the diamagnetic property. Diamagnetic, we have already discussed the diamagnetic substances are those which have paired electrons. Because of pairing, they mutually cancel their spin. So spin angular momentum is 0. Like that, it does not exhibit, these compounds don't exhibit the magnetic field. These substances repelled by, so these substances repelled by the external magnetic field. Ferromagnetic property. If the magnetic poles of adjacent atoms in paramagnetic substances are all parallelly aligned in the same direction, that means maximum contribution of the electrons to the magnetic field. In ferromagnetic, these are the these compounds are itself ferromagnetic compounds. In our next class, we will discuss the Gauss balance. Gauss balance is used for the determination of magnetic susceptibility. There is another few minutes for it. I am concluding here. Thank you.